Happy Sabbath. Thank you. Okay, this mission report is about, it's more like a witness. So it's about the witness of Nancy, I would say. So the mission report, it's called the Scythe attack. Now, what is a scythe? Scythe is basically something to cut the grass, say like a sickle, a sharp knife. It's not a knife, it is a sickle. So it's called the Scythe attack. So this goes back very long back, I believe. They have not told which year it happened, but it says that Nancy was 13 years old. She was walking to her school with a scythe. Why she was carrying a scythe to the school is because the teacher had told. This is a place in West Africa called Ghana. So the teacher had asked all the students to get a sickle or a scythe so that they could cut the grass around their school. So she was going to school. While she was walking around, fortunately or unfortunately, she meets her cousin. Her name is Akuba. So she happened to meet her, and they fall into an argument for an untruthly, a rumor. So this elder cousin, Akuba, she tells Nancy that you are putting a false accusation on me, a false rumor. So that gets heated up, and what happens is they start to fight, quarrel actually, and someone tells her father, hey, your girls are fighting there, at least your girl is fighting with your cousin. So what happens is, initially what happens, this girl, Nancy, Akuba, her cousin, she takes that scythe or sickle from Nancy, and she threatens her. While she is threatening her, what happens? She initially threatens, and finally she loses her cool, and she swings that scythe or sickle. Rightly what happens is, her father intervenes, who is Nancy's father. So he intervenes. While intervening, what happens? The tip of his nose gets cut off. So everyone is in a shock. They rush Nancy's father to the hospital, and in the hospital, and before that, Nancy could get into an argument. The people dispose the crowd. They take off Akuba somewhere else, and Nancy is devastated. And what happens is, in the hospital, a nurse, her name is called Esther. So she treats Nancy's father, and he was very impressed. The way Nancy's father was very impressed, and so he also desired that his her daughter Nancy should become a nurse. They have not given much about Esther. How was she? What was she? And how did she treat him? But I could relate that she was very kind-hearted, very soft-spoken, is what I could relate. And what care she gave to Nancy's father he was very impressed by that. So while Nancy comes to visit her father says, she's a very good nurse. I always wanted you to become a nurse. So even Nancy observes that this particular nurse, Esther, she took care genuinely with a wholehearted and not just as a work. So she was also impressed. Now Nancy also was impressed. She also resolved to become a nurse. So what happened is, several years passed, and Nancy also graduated from the high school, and she started looking for a nursing school, and she found a 7-day Adventist nursing midwifery training college. So at first she thought only Adventists were allowed to study there, and she wasn't an Adventist. But the college accepted the application. Once she began her study, she realized that many students were not Adventist, and some were not even Christians too. So Nancy had considered herself as a Christian. Nancy considered herself a Christian, and she says that she used to read weekly once Bible. And so what happened is, in this college, she went through a spiritual emphasis at college. I don't know what is this spiritual emphasis. might be we can consider like how in schools we have catechism class for the Christian and moral science for the other believers. So I understood like that. So a pastor taught her from the Bible how to live Christian's life, and that details is not given. And she realized that she hadn't been living a Christian life. She wanted to, now she gets a desire in her heart to be a true Christian. At the end of the week of spiritual emphasis, she decided to surrender her life to Christ and to be baptized. So the pastor was helpful in her uplifting to accept Christ literally as well as spiritually, as is what I believe. So that ends over there, and they says that now Nancy is 22 years old and a new woman. Her life changed completely since she surrendered her life to Jesus. She used to only, now here it says, she used to only read Bible in church on weekends, but now she has personally devoted herself and reads the Bible in her room every day. She also prays. She can't wait to graduate and care for people as a nurse. So she also says that she may even continue to complete her education and become a doctor someday, physician. So her father says, my father was happy when I said that I wanted to be baptized, said Nancy. He was happy to hear that she had changed through college and has a new life now. To summarize or to end it off, it says this 13th Sabbath offering that will help Seventh-day Adventist nursing and midwifery training college, where Nancy studied, expand the construction of new classrooms and dormitories. Now, so there is something very interesting about this college that I spoke about, midwifery. I forgot the name. Okay, midwifery training college. So it says that it started with only 22 students in the year 2015, and now they have 770 students. Demand is high, it seems. So they say the demand is really high, and the school lacks the capacity to acquire or not acquire, to give admissions to more students because of lack of space and dormitories, etc. So the demand is high is what they say. The school lacks the capacity to admit additional students. This is a real mission school, where only 30% of the students are Adventist. A number of students like Nancy join the church every year, and finally they are thanking us in advance for considering a generous 13th Sabbath offering on December 30th. So let us all generously contribute for this offering they are doing for 13th Sabbath. Praise God.